Well, to say that Danny King is a catfishing fanatic is probably an understatement. Danny has won more awards for his fishing tournaments, and he and his partner, than he actually has display room in his house for. He and his partner, Larry Spillers, have really taken all of the top championships from the American Catfish Anglers Tournament Series, which is a very prestigious organization. Danny has been the subject of countless television shows, DVDs, CDs, and even articles in the Wall Street Journal. You're a catfishing fool, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I don't know nothing else. A rod and reel catfisherman. Don't know much about trot lining or jug lining. I'm strictly a rod and reel man, and that's the only thing I know is catfishing and fishing rod and reel.
You're going to share some secrets with us today in terms of how to go about catching these big channel cats and these big blues. What would you tell everybody they need? Do they need a lot of fancy equipment, or is there some stuff that pretty much anybody that they've got in their tackle closet might be able to drag out and use?
Oh, sure. You can use any kind of a rod and reel. It don't have to be high dollar. Catfishing, that's, you know, if you like it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. You can use a Zepco 33 and a 7-foot rod or whatever you got. A good 20-pound test line, I recommend that by all means, because you're hunting big fish and you're going to be fishing tree stumps and rock piles and open water, so, you know, it's not a high dollar equipment deal.
You've got your own line, though, of rods and reels and some line and things like that. Tell us about the Danny King signature rod that you've got there in your hand.
This is a 7-foot medium heavy rod. I've added 8 eyes on it. Most of them normally have 5 or 6. I like that for accuracy, and I don't like for the line to touch the rod when you get a big 20 or 30-pound blue on or something like that. It's got a glow tip and glow inserts for nighttime fishing, and I use a 20-pound test Suffix fishing line, and this is a line, it's a kind of fluorescent green, and I can see it better. This is a pole, like I said, I designed myself. All the eyes are double threaded and double booted, and this has got a real good backbone in it. Right out here's where your backbone is.
You imagine you have to have a good spine if you're catching those big fish, right?
Oh, you're gonna have to. If you ain't got control of the big fish, or at least trying to control him, you're not gonna get him. You gotta try to make him come your way and coming through the brush and stuff, so you gotta have a good backbone rod.
You were saying about fishing in the stumps and in the weeds and things like that. I have a feeling most people think that you find those catfish out on points in clear water where there's not a lot of vegetation or not a lot of obstruction. Am I wrong?
Well, sometimes, but if you're looking for big fish this time of year, let me tell you, you need to get into structures such as stumps, rock piles, tree lines. Get up in the trees. Most people won't get up in the trees because they're afraid they're going to break off a 20-cent hook or a quarter lead, you know. You know, I have lost 50 hooks a day and 50 leads a day, but I have caught 44 and 45-pound blue cat on rod and reels. You just got to throw up there and hope Mother Nature and you both can whoop it out.
And as we see, they have a tendency that they will run, that they will try to control you and head and wrap you around something if they get a chance.
A catfish will head for structure in a New York minute because he knows if he can wrap that line or wrap something around something, he's going to get a loose for him. It's just Mother Nature. So you're fighting Mother Nature and its fish and elements and stuff. So the odds are in the fish's favor. So we're trying to outsmart the fish, and you don't always do that.
Okay, as we wrap this up, your catfish bait, the punch bait, comes in a variety of different sizes. It's a gallon size, but I don't always need a gallon, do I?
Well, if you go out there with a pint or quart and you start fishing, and next thing you know, you're out of bait and you're 40 miles from a bait shop, most economical way, most cheapest way to go.
If people wanted to order this from around the country, they can get it online? They can have it shipped to them?
Sure, all they got to do is go on DannyKingBait.com and we'll UPS it right out to you. Walmart's got it, Gander Mountain's got it. Just look around. If you ain't got it, well, give us a call.
Either that or ask the local tackle store to pick it up for you and start carrying it.
Yes, sir.
Probably break your heart with that.
What would just break my heart?
Danny, I noticed you fish with a variety of different tackle boxes, but this little one here seems to have a variety of just a little bit about everything in here, including some treble hooks, some weights, some corks, and even some cigarette butts. What's up with that?
Well, let's start with the hooks. These are #1 treble hooks. Sometimes I like a big bait for a big fish, And then I got the number 2 Eagle Claw bronze treble hooks. And then I got the number 4. Then I got some number 2 aughts, which makes them all the bait about that big around. And for big blues, that's what I do.
You call that wishful thinking? No.
Well, I'll tell you.
You actually use them.
You'll get to see me using some of these hooks. And then we have peg corks and the peg cork trick. You'll get to see the peg cork trick out there. The different size of weights is from 1.5 ounces to 2 ounce to down to even some little clamp-on weights. Different fish has different sensitivity on biting and pulling weights, and different times of the year you got to be flexible to move.
So not all catfish bite alike?
No. You got 4 seasons for catfishing: summer, spring, fall, winter.
Okay.
And I guarantee you it's different types and different ways they bite from year to day to month to seasons. It makes all the difference, and you got to be ready. The peg cork trick's something new. Cigarette filters is a little trick that we use to 1/2 inch on the lines to bump your lead against, and we also have the Carolina keepers that we use a lot of, the little squeeze and slide up on your line, and you'll see us using these and showing and talking about it. Andy, you'll get a whole barrel full of stuff when we get out on the lake. And I hope you can remember it all.
Well, if nothing else, we can always go back and watch the TV show, can't we?
Always. You can go back, watch the TV show, and see it right there. That's going to be to make sure it gets out to the television people.
All right. Well, it looks to me like we're armed for bear. Let's go get a fish.
I'm ready.
Deep in the heart of Texas, well, actually about an hour east of Dallas, is Lake Tawankani, which is just one of the many lakes that Danny King fishes and literally hunts for big blues and channel cats. Joining us for this fishing expedition is Lee White, who owns and operates White's Guide Service at the nearby Lake Fork. For fishing this and other big catfish lakes, it's best to have a fast, bass-type boat with a shallow draw and a trolling motor for maneuvering into the shallows where the tree stumps provide plenty of catfish cover. And it all begins with rigging up for the big ones.
I think they was intended to fish for trout, but we're in Texas, just east of Dallas, and we're catfishing. But there's nothing like going fishing with friends and stuff and learning about fishing, because I learn something everywhere I go. Now this is the Eagle Claw bronze hook, 374M, and the reason I use these hooks, folks, because if I break that off that fish's mouth or he swallows it, I can cut that line, and you'll probably get to see some of that before the day's over with, and I can throw it back in the water. And with the enzymes in the water and the acid in these fish's body, that hook will be gone. It'll dissolve and go completely away, as long as you don't get a hold of your line and try to jerk it in there and kill it. These are tricks you learn over a period of years and learning. I don't never use a stainless steel hook. Now I'm twisting this about 8 or 9 times. This is called a cinch knot or slip knot. That's what I call it. And I'm going to run it back down through the eye of the line. Then I'm going to take this and pull down on it, and it cinches a knot in it. A lot of people don't use them. They like the Palomar knot. I don't. And light as this line, if this was a 20-pound test line, I'd have snipped this off a little. But it's not. It's limber, flexible. So what I'm trying to say is the fish not even going to know it's there.
Then digging deep into the Danny King punch bait. And casting out where the big ones live. And then, bam, it doesn't take long.
That's a bad way to get a fish out like that, folks. But we got about 3.5 pound blue here. Could knock down 4, but I doubt it. You see a blue that has a hump in his back, and he's dark gray and light white on the bottom. It's a lot different than channel cat. You heard the bait clicker goes off. That's what saves you a rod and reel. Sometimes you got to hit these babies. Oh! You see my pliers back there, Lee? I laid them down somewhere. We got Mr. Lee White with us today. I'll call him Mr. Most people don't. Sometimes I don't. He's up here fishing with us. He's a Lake Fork guide, and that come right out. Well, what we're going to do,
You got a live well, Bubba? We're gonna keep a few of these. I'm breaking these off so they can't fin me. Mr. Andy and his Kathy, they wanna mess the catfish. They said there's tar to eating trout. They want some good fish.
Or you can also float fish like Lee enjoys.
This is a floating rig. It's a floating cork is what it is. I use a bobber stopper on it. And what it is, you can adjust your stopper to fish in different depths of water. In other words, I use this a lot out 20 and 21 and 22 foot. And it's a lot easier than just taking it offside the boat and just sitting there all day waiting on it to happen. You can get up and walk around, you know, do whatever, just watch that cork. When that cork goes down, this is what you get.
Because it's pretty simple to rig up as well.
And it goes down, see it, that slides
And
down.
then that slides.
And it hits your cork, and that puts your
stops
depth
the
there.
cork.
Yep, that's how you adjust your depth, is with your bobber stop. If you don't go
Okay,
deep.
and then below that.
See what I run below that? I'll have 2 pinch-on weights.
Okay.
And I like to keep them up probably about a foot or so. My hook will be here.
Okay.
I like to keep it down a little bit. Let's see, and that's basically it. I mean, there's nothing to it. And these pinch-on weights that I have here is the best that I have found for holding that line the way it does. Now, it'll hold that line. You can buy them little round ones and bullet weights and stuff. They just don't hold this line the way. And I'll put one of them on here, and you see these marks on here.
Yeah. And
what I do is I take dikes and I cut across it to give it that good solid deal. Now, if I break, I'll still have this one. And of course, your cork will come out, but I mean, you just can't hardly beat it. You can cover so much water fishing it this way.
Yeah.
So much water.
So by pinching that on the line, that top one,
well, I got the bottom one here.
the bottom
pinched.
one
Yeah.
pinched. Okay.
And see it holds.
Then if your line breaks, you're still gonna save
Most
your
of the time,
bobber.
well, your bobber, if you'll take your rod when you know you broke off and try it's free. But if you're fishing real deep water, like me and Danny does out in 21, 22, you know, over on Lake Fork, this right here, you always want to check them, because sometimes when you're reeling in a big fish, if it hits an eye, it will slip. It'll slip on you.
Okay.
So that's just being aware of how deep you're fishing, you know, and keeping up with it. But they work good.
Channel cat.
Not yet.
I got it. I got it.
There you go. Trophy of the day. This is what you call catching grease. I mean, and remember, especially when you're fishing with Texans,
The bigger the bait, the bigger the hook, the more bait, the bigger the fish.
but sometimes even the champions get tackle twisted by the big fish.
Guys, we just lost a 20-pound plus fish. When I threw it in there, I knew I was going to have a little trouble with some laydowns and stuff. I got the fish up, got him coming. A lot of stuff in here, stuff you can see on top, stuff you can see underneath it. And he just got in there around that stump and got my line caught on that wood and cut it. And it happens. That's just what's called part of fishing. You never get over it. I don't care how old you get. It kind of makes you sick at your stomach, but you know, you don't get them all. And that's the deal, but sure wanted to get him in.
With the live wells filled with a mess of blues and channels, it's time to call it a day and head for the fish cleaning station over at the nearby Lake Fork.
But you can't trim them down. It won't come off the skin.
Let's change different.
And what better reward at the end of a day than a good old-fashioned catfish fry with all of the trimmings, tater tots, homemade hush puppies, and all that great Texas family hospitality. Okay, everybody, well, we hope you enjoyed the program. I hope you learned a little bit of something today. We've got to tell you, we are now firm believers in Danny King and his punch bait. Obviously, so are the fish. They like it, but they made the big mistake of tagging on and not letting go. Now, these are some of the small ones. These are the channel cats that we caught late this afternoon. But as you saw throughout the day, there was a mess of fish. There were a whole lot of them off camera, too, that you never even got to see, simply because we just almost ran out of film. And that's the kind of fishing trip you like to have. On behalf of Andy Lightbody, Danny, give it one more time. Tell them where they can go on the website to get further information, to order your rods and reels, as well as the line, landing nets, and now, obviously, all the different kinds of baits that you've got.
You can go on DannyKingBait.com.
Pretty simple. Next time we'll see you down in Texas. Maybe we'll get Danny up into Colorado, some other areas where we'd like to be able to take him fishing. For Rocky Mountain Outdoor Adventures, thanks for joining us, everybody, here on Rocky Mountain Television.